Okay, so the book DTO is one of our DTOs. Switch over to the new passenger DTO. So I guess you know now what you have to do, right? So we again use some data annotations right here. So go ahead and add using system component model dot data annotations. Also here, new passenger DTO, all of the fields right here should be required. For sure, if you like, you can change them. If you don't want to have that gender flag, you can definitely change it, make it an enumerator if you want to have additional values, right? So feel free to do whatever you like. We decided to take a Boolean value here to show you how bools are working. So this is the reason why we needed to complete that, because we have an integer for the number of seats and we got string values, and we for sure wanted to add a Boolean value. Now add required to all of them, because all of the information that we have here is required, right? So we don't want to miss any of those. The user has to make a selection or has to enter a value for all of these fields. Now for email address here, we can again go ahead and add the string length attribute and set it to 100 and min length or minimum length to 3. Again, since this is an email address, in between I will add email address. So there is no rule of order, right? So you can simply go ahead and adjust it as you like. You can also set required to the very end, so no problem at all. And for first name and last name, we go ahead and use min length, and this time we set it to 2. And we also use max length and set it to 35. Nearly no one should have a first name which is longer than 35 characters. I guess that should be a fine number. And we for sure add this also for last name. Great, so now we have the annotation here set to. So again, head over to Swagger. But one thing to mention before is that these data annotations are only working, or that sort of input validation, if you have inside of your controllers the API controller attribute attached. So this makes them automatically work. So the validation is working then. Go ahead and check if you have API controller for both of your controllers set, right? So you should, if you followed along, you should have that. But I just want to say, if you don't have that set, the input validation will not automatically take place. Let's go to our passenger post endpoint here, click on try it out and simply hit execute again. And you should see client error 400. Email address is not a valid email address. So if we change that, it should be working. And also if we just make a very, very, very long first name and remove gender, let's hit execute. You can see email address not working. The first name must be string, right? And he's not complaining about the missing Boolean because it's like the default value is false. So even though we don't submit anything, it is still a value automatically provided because the Boolean value has a default value. Okay, great. Now we've tested it with Swagger. Let's move on to Angular and try to fill out some invalid information over there.